Hey everybody, I'm Briscoe Diggs and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. Today I have with us the director of the fantastic film American Night, Alessio Della Valle. All right, did I say that right?
Yes, Alessio Della Valle.
Perfect. So how are you today? You doing well?
Great, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
So how is it? You've been in a whirlwind kind of thing here in LA. You're going through a lot of interviews about your film.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So I appreciate you taking the time to come to Real Talk. So let's get into it. I want to ask you first, where did you get the idea for American Night?
I wanted to write a movie in 3 chapters. I really like movies that have like different stories. And I also was thinking there's a lot of movies that I love like this, especially there's a Macedonian film called Before the Rain, which won the Golden Lion in Venice in 98 or 99, directed by Milko Manchevsky. And it was three chapters set against the world of the war, really the civil war between Macedonians and Albanians, etc. And it was just an inspiring piece that I saw in Venice, actually. I was a member of the jury of the young people, the young jury member.
Nice.
The Venice Film Festival. So I watched, like 70 to 100 movies. And this movie just really stuck in my mind because it was these 3 different chapters with 3 different stories.
Right.
But they were all connected with each other. So I think I wanted to do my own version of how do you tell a story in 3 chapters.
You did a great job too. It was like I love all the actors first of all, but it was just the way that the story was told in fantasy New York. It was just so fantastic. I can't say enough. It was like I loved it so much. So how long did it take you from finishing the script to getting it starting to film?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh no, I really did. I actually have it on pause right now.
Okay.
I don't want to give anything away. I'm at the guns fight at the, I love it. So how long did it take, from the time that you finished the script until the time that you started to film?
Maybe a year or 2. I don't really have the schedule in my mind right now, but it's not like you stop writing and then you wait to film. It's like an ongoing process, because you send it to actors and agencies and you get feedbacks and then to heads of department and you begin. Well, one thing I did is I worked a lot because I put together a book of visual references and ideas, and I gave a book to each head of department, a different one. Right. So everyone had their own, 70 pages of references for costumes, or or 100 pages references for from paintings, from art of the Middle Ages, of the Renaissance, of the 19th century, from everything really, for art department. So so I worked a lot. I prepared to build this world because, as you're saying, it is sort of an alternative version of New York. It's sort of like a parallel universe. I wanted to create a world with his own rules, with his own lights, with his own sets, with his own costumes.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Actually, I was like, the people that worked with you, the crew that you assembled, the writer. I should do the writer director, but the cinematography, the costumes, the lighting. Everything is just so beautiful. It all came together under your tutelage, I guess. But there's one scene I got to point out. We're jumping around, but there's one scene that I love so much. Is when Emil is in his bedroom and he's talking to his girlfriend about the Nazis, and he turns and his hair is just perfect. It's just super perfect. So later on, when something happens, I was like, oh, wow. It just took me like, oh, okay, I get it now. Because it was like the most beautiful hair ever.
Right.
And it was like 9 minutes. Wait, no. The 9 minute, 20 second, no, 20 minutes and 9 seconds or something like that is when it happened. I kind of remember. Yeah.
Right. Well, what happened is like I wanted to create a world that was believable but different. So, and that this reflects in what you're saying about Emil's haircut, um, which ties really with his family story, with his own story, with his father, right?
Right.
I'll elaborate more about this, but it was reflected in every department and in every scene, really. Like, for example, the movie opens in a diner that is called the Dead Rockstars Diner, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we create a diner in which all the waiters are dressed like famous dead rock stars, you know, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, you know, Elvis, you know, all these mythical guys that everyone loves, right? And it does not exist a dead rock stars diner, yet it could exist.
Yeah. I thought it was real. I'm like, okay. I was like, what is this? I want to go.
Exactly.
Good idea.
Thank you.
That all came from your head. That's amazing.
Thank you. Well, that was actually the goal. I wanted to create a place that doesn't exist, that is believable, it doesn't exist, and a place where the audience would like to go.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So,
if anybody comes up with that idea, opens one, they have to pay you.
Exactly.
So also, I know you were saying that there during the filming of the film that sometimes you might have to change stuff. Was there a lot of changes to the script, or was it just exactly what you
No, it was exactly.
Oh, great.
I know there's directors that like to rewrite as they shoot. For me, it would be complete madness.
Yes, yeah. Like, I'm an actor, and that drives you crazy. Yeah.
No. The actors said exactly the same lines. Everything was exactly as written, because you know the amount of work was just so much that it would not be possible to change a character's arc or something huge while putting together also this show. And to answer your question about Emil's hair, what happens is his arc is something that what really on a certain level the movie's about, you know, it's how do the characters do an arc, right? Usually what people are told is when you write a movie, it's about the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is about a hero who gets a call, he refuses the call, and then he ends up on a journey at the end of trying to achieve his dreams. And at the end of his dreams, he is transformed and he comes back home with a girl, with a treasure, with whatever it is, but he learns a lesson. He's transformed by this. I think people never change unless they really, really want to and put a lot of work and effort into it. So no one of my characters in the movie changes, because this is how it is in reality. So what we did is none of them changes, but their arc is an arc in which they learn to accept who they are.
Wow.
So Emil's father has a tattoo of a scorpion on his neck. And at the end, we're going to see that when Emil's shave, he also has a scorpion tattoo without revealing too much. And he also tells a story about the scorpion and the frog. Which is really a story about accepting your own nature. The scorpion doesn't want to sting the frog. However, he ends up doing it because that's his nature. So Emil's character, Michael Rubino, he learns to accept who he is throughout his journey. And so does John Kaplan, who tries to clean himself up, but really he's an art forger.
And that's just what he is. It's great. I was wondering also, it's kind of interesting, like you say, the 3 story arcs. Each actor is kind of playing like a little bit different character because it's a point of view from the other character. Is that right? It's like Jonathan's character, he's kind of playing like more than one person because it's from a different person's point of view.
Yes and no. I mean, the point was like also what is real, right? Because everything's about perception. So when two people witness the same event and then they tell it to you, it basically feels like 2 different events, right? Anything. Whether they're invested in it or not, it's all filtered through their own human personal perception. So the point was like, okay, let's show. It's basically the story is literally 3 days in the life of the characters,
Right.
and I wanted to show how these 3 days are from the point of view of one guy, and then we go back and then we show again how these 3 days are from another guy's point of view. That
Right.
are
Right.
really different. And
Yeah.
then we really show what really happened.
Really
Which is
happened. Right?
the story.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. My favorite character, I must say, is Shaky.
Ah,
He's my favorite. And the beginning, when something happens to him when they're trying, I was like, oh, I thought that he died. It's like no, and then I'm like, oh, I get it. And the best character I've seen in many years. He's such a good actor. Fortunato is so wonderful in this character, and he steals every scene he's in. I think he's amazing. And to be in a scene with Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Jeremy Piven, and he just takes it all. They're great. I'm not saying they're not great. I love them both, but he is amazing. I got goosebumps thinking about how funny he was, because he has to be like, he's serious. He's funny to us, but he's serious. He's he's going through this, and we're looking at it with a little comic relief, but it's not really. This is devastating. So I love it, and also, I drive a PT Cruiser, and I love the way you use that in the film. Just a little thing.
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me about how you wrote that character and thought about narcolepsy. What was that behind that?
Well, I always like to write characters with obviously a goal, but also a flaw. And I think it's really cool when the a goal, a flaw, what they want and what they need, and make them all be different.
Okay.
Right. So what for him, he's an art courier who works for an established auction house that sells paintings under the table, like stolen paintings as well. But he has a flaw, which is he's narcoleptic. He cannot disclose this to his employee, otherwise he won't get employed because he needs to work.
Right.
But yet, when things go crazy, he's narcoleptic. He just falls asleep.
Oh, good. And you're like, what can we do with him? Like, do we kill him? I don't know. So yeah, it's amazing.
But the movie, I wanted to write a movie and create and direct and shoot and cast a movie that would be a genre-bending hybrid.
Yes.
So I didn't want to go like, this is a thriller, boom, this is an action, this is a love story, this is a comedy. No, this has elements of noir, this has elements of action, this has elements of the love story, this is elements of comedy. I wanted to make a hybrid, really, a hybrid that would bend genres.
You accomplished, I swear. At some points in the film, I was like, I'm just shocked. Oh my God. So I love that when you're not expecting something to happen and it does, like scorpions and things like that. I'm like, oh my God, what? It's like, oh, Alessio, where did you come up with this stuff? But it all works so, it's seamless. It's so, and the way that it looked, it's so beautiful. The cinematography is great. The way you set up those shots, every shot is just perfect. The way you use certain colors to like for each character is a little bit, I love that, the neon signs, all those little things. I'm just going on, and I could like talk about it all day. So, as a fan. But the locations that you used, you were in Budapest, I believe. Where did you go?
We shot on a New York film set in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, sorry, yeah, Bulgaria. Okay.
Yeah, and also in Italy. And as far as the colors, I chose to only use primary colors. So I told DP, art department, costumes, you cannot use all the other colors.
Right.
You only have red, blue, and yellow. That's it.
It worked.
Thank you. We tried. We really wanted to go in one direction. Like for John Kaplan's stories, played by Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, it's only primary colors.
Yeah.
For Emile Hirsch's story, who plays Michael Rubino, it's mostly black and white.
Right, yeah.
His walls are black. His clothes are black and white. There's a reason. We wanted to create a sort of a darker world, more gothic, more noir, more evil.
Yeah, and I wrote down like everything's black for him. Yeah. Yeah, it's sinister, sinister.
Sinister. Like we painted walls black, but I also asked them, a production designer, to mix it with some powder from aluminum so
Okay.
that they would reflect.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're all like black, but they're shiny.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. How you, oh, okay. That's how you got that effect because it looks really good. It's amazing. I actually, a little backstory. When I first moved to LA, I think I told you before, I met Emile. It was just random on the street. No, we were at a bar. I was walking to a bar, Emile Hirsch is there. And we met and we had a conversation for about 15 minutes. He was a nice guy. That was my first celebrity, sighting when I first moved to Los Angeles. And he was such a nice person that I always stayed a fan of his. So when I got to see this film, I was so excited that he was in it. Yeah, and also Marilyn Monroe, we have the same birthday. Yeah, but my birthday is June 1st, 1962, and hers is 1926. So it's just, yeah. So I'm a huge, yeah. So when I realized that this film would be about Marilyn, I'm like, oh my God, she's my idol. So yeah. I appreciate that. What made you pick that particular painting and to have it as a focus of the film?
Because on many levels, this picture is a reflection of what is iconic. Mm-hmm. So Andy Warhol's work is really an iconic piece. It's probably his most famous artwork ever. Absolutely, yeah. And it became an icon, right? Mm-hmm. However, this is an iconic artwork that is also based on an iconic actress.
Right.
So it's a double icon in a way, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to use that specifically, and I did this choice everywhere in the picture, because on so many levels it's a reflection of what is an icon for an audience, what is an icon for culture, what makes it pop culture. So I wanted to think of what is a myth, what is an icon, what is what is perception, how do people perceive what is iconic and what is what is pop. We did this in so many ways, like on the Dead Rockstars Diner, for example. Mm-hmm. With rockstar, like very famous rock stars. Yeah. Or for the soundtrack, the composer Marco Beltrami, he took famous classical pieces, mm-hmm. which are already iconic, and transformed them into something else. Right. So again, sort of like he did the same process that Andy Warhol did, or that I did with the Dead Rockstars Diner, or with so many other things that were specifically handpicked because of their pop culture meaning or their iconic meaning. One of the, I was just saying that we're going to say that about the soundtrack. I think it's really great. The scene where the PT Cruiser scene I was talking about, when there's a homeless lady on the corner and she's saying, "Don't drive drunk." And then the song is, what was it? The Streets Are Ours. It's just right. Like so perfect for that scene. I was like, I shouldn't have been laughing, but I was laughing. She's like, "Don't drive drunk." I'm like, oh my God. And that song was just perfect. So yeah, everything just, all the puzzle pieces just fit in so perfectly. Was that because of your eye at the end? Like, were you in charge of all of that once it was done? Like you were saying, okay, yeah, oh gosh. Yeah. I actually wrote that song into the screenplay. So it was already prepared. Because the purpose is they're driving, the two girls, they think they got away with what they did. Right. They're singing, "Tonight the streets are ours." But something else happens. Something else, yeah. And also, it's another reflection again on pop culture, because that song is used in the Banksy documentary. Right. Of street art. So when they're painting on the walls illegally in the streets of LA, New York, London, etc., they're doing all this wonderful graffiti art that I love. The songs that is played in that documentary. Right. Which I don't know if you saw it. It's a great documentary. It's called "Exit Through the Gift Shop." Exit through the gift shop. Okay. And the song that plays there is that song, "Tonight the Streets Are Ours." They use it in that real meaning, right? Okay. They really own the streets because they're doing that. I use it in the opposite way. They think the streets are theirs, but they're not. It's great. There's one scene also where Paz Vega's character there's a big crowd with the white masks. Right.
What were the logistics of that scene? How did you go about filming that? Because that was a lot.
Right. So that again is a reflection on art because they have painted on the mask art life and chaos, um, and also how does the chaos changes people's life. You know, there's a famous quote by John Lennon that says, "Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans."
Oh wow.
So right.
Yeah.
So John Kaplan, he in the character, you know, in the scene, he wants to do a trade. And they have a meeting point in the streets. However, when they get there, there's an art performance of street art. You know, people in the streets dressed in costumes with music and colors smoked. And then, you know, so they cannot do the swap. They cannot do the exchange. That obviously always takes a life on its own. People that have seen the movie call me and said, "Oh, this is a metaphor for the pandemic because they're wearing the mask and the smoke is colored." I'm like, yeah, I actually wrote that before the pandemic. But yeah, I guess it can easily do that.
If you say so, right?
I get it. Yeah, there's a mask, there's a color smoke, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just a coincidence.
Right.
And as far as shooting it, it was a bit complicated because we needed to get all these extras in the streets. So the way we did it was we had multiple cameras.
Okay.
On like the fourth floor of a building, or cameras on tracks, on dollies, on cranes, on the side. Like we had to have all the possible angles. Because I think we only had a day and a half or 2 days to shoot that.
Wow. Wow,
like
usually takes like a week for something like that. Yeah, that's amazing. Right. Yeah, so they were all shooting simultaneously? That's really great. Wow, that's really good because it's beautiful. Now, also, there's one thing I want to ask you as well. The paint, there's a scene where Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, he's tossing, I'm sorry. It's a meal where he's tossing the paint onto the canvas.
Right.
How many times did you have to do that, or did you get what you wanted the first time, or did they have to keep doing that? Because that was just, it became a piece of art at the end that he showed. So was that the same or not? I'm not sure. I'm getting too deep into it.
Sorry, because you froze for a second.
Yeah, I know. It did freeze. I'm so sorry. Yeah, something happened for 1 second. The paint splashing that Emil, his artwork, when he's splashing, how was that done? Was that deliberate? I know it can't be deliberate the way it's splashing, but how many times did you have to do that to make that art piece?
Okay, so I guess we did it. I don't exactly remember. We must have done it maybe 4 or 5, 6 times, and then obviously we had to clean.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Or at the time, this location that we were filming it. And it was also, you cannot. It's not readable on screen, but it was actually raining.
Oh wow! Oh gosh!
Little rain, not hard rain.
Right, but still, yeah.
But still, so Emil was under. We were all covered, and we were sort of covered that part of the set. So I think the actual throwing of the paint on the canvas was maybe 6, 7 takes. Okay. And then Emil was very, he's very good that he always nails it. He does his best take one.
Yeah.
1 or 2. So you don't really need many. You don't need to shoot a lot because he's very, very good, very, very talented.
That's great.
So we always end up cutting, his first take or his second take.
That's so cool. That's amazing. I'm not gonna blow my own horn. That's how I feel when I'm an actor as well. When I do something, the first time I do it, I'm like, okay, that one, and we're like, let's do it again and again. But usually, like you said, you go back to that first one because that feeling is already there. You're already prepared. So when you get into that character, it's like you give it your all. And yeah, I loved Emil. I loved everything about this film. This film is great. Anastasia, I must say, when I knew the Anastasia, okay, I'm a gay man, okay, and Anastasia's a gay icon for us. She's an icon to us. We love her, and the fact that she's in this film, not only singing the theme song, but she also co-wrote. which is great. And I think the song is Oscar worthy. The whole film is, but this song is probably going to be nominated as well as the film and cinematography and everything. But how did you get Anastasia? She's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I think she did a great job. You know.
Yeah.
Her song is incredible.
Beautiful.
She's super nice, super kind. I was really honored that, yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah. So, everything came together so well. I know I'm blabbing on. I keep saying that, but I've seen your film 5 times. I'm actually, like I said, because I had the screening and the screener, so I'm like, I couldn't keep watching. The first time I watched it, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta watch it again. And so before the interview, I've been watching, and just like I said, it's a great film. You should be so proud. This is your very first film, right?
Yes. Yes.
For your first, oh my God, you really you outdid yourself. This is great, and you should be really proud of yourself. So
thank you. I will tell Anastasia how you like her performance.
Tell her Briscoe said hi. Yeah, and also, like I said, you have a great ensemble cast, including Michael Madsen, like I said, Fortunato Salino, Jonathan Rhys Meyers, Emil Hirsch, Jeremy Piven, one of my favorites as well. Did such a great job as the stuntman.
Yeah. We're doing screenings in LA this coming week, and Jeremy will be a guest on stage for the Q&A.
Right, that's great. That's great. Yeah, everyone should see this film. Everyone should see this film and go to the screenings as well. I am so proud of you. We just met, but I'm so proud of you because to accomplish this from your mind to the page to the screen, you got everyone together for this, and I tip my hat if I had one. Yeah, and so I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Coming on to Real Talk. Thank you so much for being here. Before I go, I want to ask you. People always ask, but do you have anything coming up soon that we can talk about, or not?
Yeah. So the 2 things at least. The Song of Anastasia is going to be released on Spotify on February 7th.
Yay!
And also there will be a premiere for the music video.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great.
And then the other news is that today the movie premieres on Hulu.
Yes! I'm sorry, I don't mean to yell, but yes, exactly. Yeah, I was going to mention that, but thank you. Yes, it's on Hulu right now, and you all can watch. And I would if I were you, because it's a great film. It's a great film. It's beautiful. It looks so good. Plus, I have a brand new TV, so it even looks better. I know I'm being silly. Alessio, thank you so much for coming on to Real Talk. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. I know the future is going to be so bright for you. I can't wait to see what you have coming up in the future. And thanks again.
Thank you.
To my audience out there, if you have a dream in your heart and a plan, it's never too late. Can you dig it? All right. You have a great afternoon, Alessio.
Thank you. You too. All the best.
Okay. Stop.